Everyone, welcome back to another Taekook oneshot. Uncle Cookie. It was a bright Monday morning when Jungkook arrived at the Kim household with his suitcase in his hand and the charming smile that could make anyone's day. Taehyung, dressed in his oversized hoodie and ripped jeans, peeked from the staircase. His curious eyes followed the young man. Taehyung, come greet your uncle, Mrs. Kim called from the living room. I'm not a kid, Mom, Taehyung groaned but padded down the stairs anyway as he approached. His gaze locked with Jungkook's. Hey there, Tae. Jungkook greeted with a warm smile, his deep voice sending. Hi, Uncle, Taehyung replied, fidgeting slightly. Just Cookie is fine, Jungkook said, clenching softly as he ruffled Taehyung's messy hair. Taehyung blushed while Jungkook was greeting his stepbrother, Mr. Kim. Jungkook was 15 when his mother remarried in Kim household, but unlike other, Jungkook and Mr. Kim loved each other at that time. Mr. Kim was 25 years old. Soon Jungkook went to his room. Dinner time. The chatter, laughter, and soft murmur filled the dining room as Kim family. Jungkook had just returned from getting fresh, looking effortlessly handsome in crispy white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, relieving his toned forearms. Taehyung sat across him, fidgeting with his chopstick as he tried to focus on the food, but his eyes kept wandering to Jungkook, stealing glances at the way his jaw flexed when he chewed, the subtle curves of his lips when Jungkook sipped his water, and the way his deep brown eyes flickered in the warm light. Taehyung, eat your... Huh? Oh, yeah, Taehyung mumbled hurriedly, stuffing a piece of broccoli into his mouth. Jungkook glanced up, catching the youngest flustered expression. He would notice the stolen glances, the way Taehyung's gaze lingered a little too long. A small smirk tugged at his lips, but he said nothing. So Jungkook, Mr. Kim began, breaking the silence. How is your new project coming along? It's good, Jungkook replied, his voice calm and confident. That's still a lot to do, but I am still making progress. Of course you are, Mr. Kim chimed in proudly. You are always been so hardworking. Things are sparked with admiration as he listened to the conversation. Uncle Cookie, don't you ever get tired of working so much? Taehyung asked, his voice soft at eager. Jungkook turned to him, a hint of amusement in his gaze. Sometimes, but it's worth it. You should focus on your studies first. The hard work pays off. Taehyung nodded, his cheeks flushed under Jungkook's direct gaze. He quickly looked down, pretended to adjust his plate. The rest of the dinner continued with light conversation, but Jungkook couldn't shake the feeling of Taehyung's eyes on him. Every time he looked up, he catch the younger looking away, his face a mix of guilt and shyness. As they finished eating, Mrs. Kim stood to clean the table. Taehyung, help me with the dishes, she instructed. Yes, Mom, Taehyung replied reluctantly, leaving his seat. Jungkook stood too, stretching slightly. I will be in my study if anyone needed me, he said. Soon Jungkook got busy in his new business and Taehyung was busy in his studies, but Taehyung found himself stealing glances at Jungkook. Whenever he passed by the study room, he would sit at the kitchen counter pretending to scroll through his phone while secretly admiring the way Jungkook's soft feature was illuminated by the glow of his laptop. One evening, Taehyung decided to approach him. Uncle Jungkook, he started entering the study room. Jungkook looked up just. Jungkook, fine, Jungkook. Taehyung hesitated, then continued. Can you help me with my art project? I am struggling with the proportion. Sure, let me see, Jungkook said, motioning for him to sit beside him. The study room was quite safe from the occasional scribble of the pencil and the soft rustle of papers. Taehyung sat beside Jungkook, pretending to focus on his art project, but barely able to keep his eyes off him. Jungkook Taehyung started drawing out the words in a playful tone. Don't you think we make a good team? Like we just get each other, you know? Jungkook clenches. As he's still on the laptop screen, you are just saying that because I'm doing most of the explaining. Taehyung parted, leaning closer, his chin resting on his palm as he gazed at Jungkook. That's not true. I just think we work well together like we are meant to. Jungkook finally looked at him, raising an eyebrow. Minto, that's dramatic, even for you there. I meant it, Taehyung said softly, his voice taking a more serious tone. I feel comfortable around you, like I can be myself without worrying. Isn't that what people feel when they are close? Jungkook paused, sensing the weight of Taehyung's words. He shifted slightly, unsure of how to respond. It's good to feel close to family, he said carefully. Taehyung's eyes flickered with something unreadable but couldn't shake the feeling that Taehyung was trying to say more than his words let on, but he shook it away. As days went by, these little study session became a routine. They would laugh over Taehyung's sassy jokes. Jungkook would tease him for his melodramatic complaints, and Taehyung would secretly savor every moment. One late afternoon, they sat under the cherry blossom tree in the backyard. Taehyung spoke up. Jungkook, do you ever feel different about someone? Jungkook's raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Like you started liking someone, but it's complicated. Jungkook clenches. That's life. The feelings can be messy, but they are natural. He bite his lips, his heart pounding. What if it's someone you are not supposed to like? Jungkook titled his head, curious. Why wouldn't you be supposed to like them? Taehyung took a deep breath. Because it's you. The silence enveloped them. Jungkook blinked, processing the confession. Jungkook started but stopped, unsure of how to respond. I know it's weird, Taehyung said quickly. His cheeks flushed, but I can't help it. You are so kind, you and smart and thick. Jungkook interrupted gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. What you are feeling, it's not wrong, but it's just family love, okay? Like how a nephew admires his uncle. Taehyung's eyes glistened with unshed tears, but he managed a small smile, I guess. Jungkook pulled him into a comforting hug. You are young, Tae. You will meet someone who will make your heart race in ways you can't imagine. That night, Taehyung lay in the bed, staring at the ceiling. Though his feelings wasn't reciprocated the way he hoped, but Taehyung will not let it go like this. He will make Jungkook realize how much Taehyung loved him. Next day, the house was unusually quiet. Jungkook sat at the dining table, sipping his coffee, his eyes wandering to the empty chair across from him. Taehyung had left for a school trip early that morning, and for the first time in the week, in his chest. But as the hours turned into days, Jungkook found himself missing the little things. The way Taehyung would brush into his study room unannounced, claiming he needed help with his art but ended up talking about the most random topics. The way he would sit too close, his shoulder brushing against Jungkook's, or the sound of soft humming that always seems to fill the house. By the second day, Jungkook catch himself glancing at his phone more often than usual, expecting a text from Taehyung. He frowned when he realized he didn't even know if Taehyung had arrived safely. Why am I thinking about him so much? Jungkook wondered aloud, running a hand through his hair. On the third day, as Jungkook worked late at night, he found himself distracted. He stared at his laptop screen, but his mind wandered to the way Taehyung had confessed his feelings just days ago. It's just because he is always around, Jungkook responded to himself. I'm used to him being here, that's all. Still, he couldn't shake the image of Taehyung's bright smile or the way his eyes sparkled when he was excited. Jungkook frowned, leaning back in his chair. Stop overthinking. By the fourth day, Jungkook was restless. The house was too quiet without Taehyung's chatter and laughter. He tried to immerse himself in work, but his thought kept circling back to the younger boy. What's wrong with me? He muttered, standing by the kitchen counter. I'm acting like. He stopped himself unwillingly to finish the thought. That night, as he lay in the bed, staring at the ceiling, Jungkook allowed himself to wonder, did he miss them because of his playful energy, or was it something deeper? His chest tightened at the thought, but he quickly shook his head. No, he whispered to himself, it's just because he has always been here. That's all, nothing more. On the fifth day, Jungkook woke up to the quiet house once again, but this time there was a sense of anticipation. Taehyung would be back by evening, and Jungkook found himself looking forward to it. When the evening finally came, Jungkook heard the front door open. His heart leapt in a way he didn't fully understand. Mom, I'm back. Taehyung called out, his voice cheerful. Jungkook smiled, walking to greet him. Welcome back there, he said, his voice softer than he intended. But Taehyung ignored him and went to his room. His mom, Jungkook, was dumbfounded, but he thought Taehyung might upset with him because of the rejection. Taehyung sat at the edge of the bed, nervously twisting his fingers across from him. His parents exchanging hesitant glances. Are you sure about this, Taehyung? Mrs. Kim asked, his brows frowned. Yes, Mom, Taehyung replied firmly. I know Jungkook loves me. He just doesn't want to admit it. Mr. Kim sighed, but eventually nodded. We will help you, but you better hope this works, or you will have to explain a lot to Jungkook. Taehyung smiled gratefully. Thank you, Dad. Trust me, it will work. The next day, the plan was set into motion. While Jungkook was at his office, Taehyung's parents called him. Their voice filled with panic. Jungkook, Taehyung is missing. Mrs. Kim cried over the phone. He didn't come home from the art class, and we just got a call saying he has been kidnapped. What? Jungkook heart dropped. Kidnapped? Where is he? Did they say anything else? They are asking for a ransom, but they didn't give us a location. Mr. Kim added, the tone grim. Jungkook, we need your help. Help us, please. Save him, find him. Without hesitation, Jungkook rushed out, his mind racing panic through him as he thought about Taehyung being in danger. Meanwhile, Taehyung was hiding in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the town, waiting for Jungkook to arrive. His heart pounded, not from fear, but Jungkook asked his friend Yoongi to give him last location of Taehyung's phone number, as Yoongi is a cyber security expert and he has some contacts with hackers and all. When Jungkook finally arrived at the location, the man just ran away from the location Without doing anything, Jungkook found it strange but shrugged it and rushing through the doors, his eyes widen with desperation. Taehyung almost broke character. Taehyung, Jungkook yelled, spotting him tied to a chair with ropes, some fake bruises painted on his face. Jungkook, Taehyung whispered weakly, pretending to be in pain. Jungkook rushed to him, his hands shaking as he untied the ropes. "Are you okay? Did they hurt you?" Taehyung nodded slightly, his voice trembling. "I'm fine, but I was so scared." As soon as Taehyung was free, Jungkook pulled him into a tight hug, his breath shaky. "I thought I lost you," he murmured, his voice breaking. "Jungkook," Taehyung whispered, his arm wrapped around Jungkook. "Why are you so worried? I thought I was just family to you." Jungkook froze, his grip tightened. "You are not just family, Taehyung. We are so much more." He stopped himself, but Taehyung pulled back slightly, looking into his eyes. "Say it, Jungkook," Taehyung urged softly. "I need to hear it." Jungkook let out a sudden breath. "I love you, Taehyung. I have been trying to deny it, but I can't. I love you more than I should." Taehyung smiled through his fake tears, his heart soaring. "I knew it," he whispered, leaning in and resting his forehead against Jungkook's mix of relief and surrender. "You are a bird, you know that? And you love me for it." Taehyung tasted finally feeling the warmth of Jungkook's love and loved him as Jungkook's own sealed their love confession from with a passionate kiss, while Taehyung's parents were smiling at them from afar and thinking about Jungkook's reaction when he will find out it was all a drama planned by Taehyung himself. But for now, let them be happy. The end. Everyone, how was it? Comment it down. I hope you will enjoy it. Whatever you feel about it, please share your thoughts with me. See you again in the next one. So till then, take care. Bye bye.